Hi everyone, so today I'm going to do a little bit of predictions, a little bit of tarot, a little bit of mixed bag, but I might try and focus on some tarot today. And I am recording this again, the last two videos, which is a pet peeve of mine. You know I love it though. So one of the things that I wanted to share is, I don't know if any of you know Katie Price. I know Marcia will. Remember Marcia, our OG, Katie Price. I'm not saying by any means that she's a fan, I don't know. Images. So that's how Katie Price looks. And I don't know if I'm doing this upside down. That's how she looks, Katie Price. She looks a bit, you can see there, she's a bit like J-Lo. She's been married so many times. She's had loads of work done. So that's before her latest work. She's super skinny. She used to be a page model, I think we used to call them. So on the front cover of the Sun, and I think she used to be, on the front cover or the second page in the Sun, they'd have these girls that are like page models and they'd be topless. Sun newspaper. My God, this ages are going, isn't it? It feels like it's another lifetime and I'm reincarnated. So something was, so I don't know what exactly, if she looks exactly the same now, but that image, I think she probably does, this first image. And some of you might be like, well, she already looks like this, but if she doesn't get help soon, she's going to go not too far, but not, it's beyond that basically. She can't backtrack. I feel she can't see herself. I feel she can't see what she exactly looks like. I don't know if she's married again. Where I was getting with in terms of J-Lo, she has probably been married the same amount of times as J-Lo, but maybe quicker moving on. I don't know. She used to be married to Peter Andre. I used to have a crush on Peter Andre when I was younger. Which I'm about to throw out. I've got like one of his, I went to one of his concerts. I've got some stuff from his concert. So mental health and physical health she needs to get help because it's bad. It's going to go really, really, really bad. And then I worry for her. She might be institutionalized into a mental health. Something may go wrong. I see it more mental health going first, because like the mental health, then it takes effect on her health, her physical health, but it's not like her physical health, like a kidney fails before her mental health. But she really needs some help right now. So I don't know if anyone knows her. She does need help, otherwise she's going to go not too, when I say too far, some of you are going to be like, she's already that far. I mean beyond return. Okay, so let's pull some cards. The other thing is, I was getting that, which is interesting. What's his name? Kirk, the one that was the whole thing that they set this patsy up, which I believe so. Charlie Kirk. He's a bit worried about his wife, even though I don't know what's happening there. He feels like she's getting bullied. I don't know if she deserves it or not. I think she's a bit of a weird cannon. And I think this might do with Candice Owens. So he's a bit worried about his wife at this moment in time. Obviously all focus is on Nancy Guthrie, and if you still don't believe me that they know who's done this, the family know who's done this, and I think by now they know where Nancy is, and it's all a bit of a show until they get to that stage. They will show us her when I say hair, it could be, the hair or the remains. I want to just keep that for now, but I will go into, you probably can tell from my community post what I think. But this is all a bit of flexing and stuff, and I think in the meantime, I have not seen the news. I think there's stuff being released on the Epsteinfiles. So yes, okay. Please bear with me on the channel. I am in, I want to say especially members, big move, big changes, and sometimes they're not the easiest. So I hope, you know, that I know that you're all very understanding, and I don't like to do a little sub story. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Are they saying that Erika was part of his A? Who's following that story? Probably no one with Nancy. Check my videos on Nancy. But we said from day one, or I asked, and do you know who basically? Oops. Do you know who basically agreed? Mimi, our reporter. She agreed he's a patsy. Do engage with us on our community page, you know. So yeah, so Charlie's a bit worried and upset about what's happening with his wife. I don't know if there's something beyond that. I want to ask, is Candice Owens jealous of Erika Kirk? Show me. How does Candice Owens feel about Erika Kirk? I do think, by the way, ooh, she's currently her focus, and she's drilling down on her. She has her back to her, but I say yes to this because it seems like Erika got the 10 of Cups and Candice didn't get the 10 of Cups, okay? And so that's why she's really drilling on her, okay? So is Erika jealous of Candice? 4 of Swords, King of Wands, 3 of Pentacles. I don't know why I'm getting here something about Candice's husband, by the way. Not that Erika's with him, but it's like, I feel like Erika's saying, my husband's gone. And everyone's pulling with me, and what is it, point view, no, what is his thing called? Point, not point. What is Charlie Kirk's mission or thing called? They're calling it something, and she's taken over. What is it? She's kind of like trying to focus on her husband's legacy, okay? And it seems like she's trying to rally the community more. That's her focus. I won't be surprised if there's someone I do think, and I've said this before when he first passed away, that she will get married again. At this moment in time, she's not acting like, it's kind of like she's not, I don't think she's focused on him. She's focused on the legacy and the growth of his legacy point. I can't remember what they call it. And just being the CEO of that, and making sure all the troops are in line, to make sure that she's continuously getting and gaining power, okay? I think that there could have been, I don't know how long Candice and Charlie knew each other, but obviously they must have known each other. I think Candice might have one time wanted that 10 with Charlie. Okay, in the very least, she wanted to be part of something with Charlie, and I think this is where it stemmed from. I think there's something there. So that's what I get on that, honestly. What a bit of a thing. I do think that there could be something that comes through that could be like a lawsuit for Candice on this. I don't know what is happening. Again, fill me in if you know. But that's what I get on that. Now, I have put a poll up that's asking if you think Ep is alive, Epstein, and if so, where. And I will be putting a poll up for Lucy Letby as well. So let me see if I've got enough to continue on this, or if I'm going to touch base on Epstein. I'll come back to it. I wish I called this out. I don't know if you can... because today I saw that Canada, maybe yesterday or day before, had a school shooting. And I've got here... What date is this? Monday. What was Monday? Monday, I've got... let me go. Just give you exactly. Another shooting, possibly a school scenario, or something very similar to the setup of the Charlie Kirk scenario, because he was at a university in the US. So I believe that this is what I was seeing. I don't know the details. I just know that it's in Canada because I saw it and I was like, I should have called it, but you don't have to believe me. Okay, I want to touch base on Andrew as well, but I'm going to come back to that because I'm going to tap into his energy. I do want to say that when I tap into Epstein, and it's not because what's going on, I do want to say that he's do you think he's the puppet master or the puppet? Because there's loads of elites involved, and I find it very weird how Ghislaine is the only one in prison and she is a female. There's no males, right? And everyone's involved in this. Everyone is involved because it's like he's the door behind them. There's bigger names in front of him, and he was like, you know what I mean? Like, I've said this before, haven't we? We've said it in the chat, in the readings. But the way I get with Epstein is that he was way too confident about the self-power he had. And given where he'd reached with everyone, I'm not actually surprised about that. But then that self-power was like dark power. And he was so attracted to, like, I'm just channeling his energy. He was so attracted to like royalty, elites, pageantry, that kind of stuff. He also got off on pain from the power he had. And the two loves of his life was money and human bodies, so sex basically, all right? That's what he loved. And then those things combined into excessiveness, just outrageous side of him, very malefic. It was sadistic. Yeah. He, as I go further into, this is why I was going to touch base on Andrew as well. He, Wow. So top cards, got the Moon, the Nine of Wands. What's really hidden is that he was behind a lot of people, and what's shown is he was at the forefront. So this is the line for the puppet master. This was the line for the puppet. We've got the Queen of Cups. Okay, for the puppet, there was lack of emotion here. There was also overgiving, darkness, the Sun's in reverse, and the control here. So the darkness around having that control. But you know, here you've got the master, the puppet. This is the puppet master, okay, and this is the puppet. But you can see sometimes he was the puppet master and sometimes he was the puppet. He would be the puppet when it came to elites. Like, he would do what was needed with no emotion and darkness to gain the royalty, the pageantry, exactly what I just channeled actually. Very interesting. And to hold on to that, Two of Cups, to gain that. Okay. Do you know what I find funny? You know Peter Mandelson, is it Peter Mandelson, who the whole thing, that Kia, I put a note on this. Did I put a note? Yes, I put a note on the community page. And Nancy Guthrie, by the way, is the case that I said in February. A female will go viral, etc. So just validating some things there. You can check the community post. But Peter Mandelson said something, I just saw this recently, that, well, I wouldn't have been involved with Epstein on that kind of stuff because I'm gay. No one's going to tell me that there was no gay people there and that there was no young boys there. It wasn't a thing that Epstein really wanted to offer. So he, although he could reach it, and he didn't even need to look overseas, he didn't really want to open the door so much to those choices getting out of hand, and being seen as on the other side, basically, because he thought he would lose quite a lot. But yeah, I think, you know, for sure he could have got him some. All right, so let's move on to the other person I was getting is Princess Catherine. I think this coming week is going to be, I'm recording this on, it's Thursday the 12th. You'll probably see this as member on the 13th. It will automatically go to subscribers this time. I'm not double uploading, which means there won't be any notifications. So please put your notifications on. It won't be a premiere, so that if anyone hypes, it can be all on the same video. And I appreciate if you do. I think I've been shadow banned at the time of Madeleine McCann, if I'm to be honest. What was I going to say? Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. So yeah, this coming week, let's say from the, you know, probably from the 16th. Well, let's say from any time from the time you see this, really, as long as it's in the next couple of days. But let's say 16th onwards for the next 7 to 10 days, even if it comes in this couple of days. I think there's something with Catherine. I feel like there's someone in her, you know, home staff or employees or something. She's got to keep an eye on them. I feel like what goes on this week ruffles her routine or what she's got scheduled, or even her health. There's some kind of change. I also feel like if they've got any pets, there could be a pet in focus for some reason, but there is definitely someone from the staff that is going to be either affecting her health or her daily routine, because she needs to keep an eye on this employee or this person. And if not, then she definitely needs to keep her eye or check on her home staff, because I am getting something around that. I feel like there's also some kind of event or maybe a family member distant from hers. There could be a passing. There's some upheaval for her this week. Let's just look at the cards, what it says. Princess Catherine, this week, please, Spirit. 16th onwards. Right, so take this card. Take the ones that have fallen. Very good cards. Queen of Cups. So we've got something new, and the home is in focus. Patience as well. Queen of Cups, which is, you know, it could be hair. It could be, a lot of people associate Queen of Cups always with Diana. We've got the Wheel of Fortune coming in. We've got the Star card. Wow, we've got the World card. Eight of Wands, communication. Seven of Cups. There's the loss. There's the Queen of Swords. And there's another loss. So it might start off as a lovely, brilliant week, like she's feeling over the moon, revamped. She's also in her aura, so you know, she's not losing her temper or anything. She's feeling very balanced. You know, things are probably going a little bit, you know, in the right direction. She's having restored hope, but she might be taking some time out because there is, oops, I've not got my thingy, my crystals. Crap, how did I forget them? Hang on a sec. We've got some bosoms on the show. Okay. There is kind of some circle. There is a chapter here that's coming to an end. There is fast communication that comes in, and that kind of causes a bit of confusion. And there could be like either not feeling well, but she loses that momentum sometime in the week. This looks like some harsh delivery of words. This could also be the person in her home that she needs to keep an eye on out. And there is a bit of a loss here. Split the deck. There is, so could it really be either, you know, manipulation that happens that causes a bit of a loss, or it could also be, like I said, I wonder if she attends maybe a funeral or a mass or something. But the cards have brought in that energy. But how beautiful was the cards at the beginning, right? So that's what I was getting for Catherine. Camilla, by the way, what is happening with them? I've got no idea if they're traveling or anything like that. Although I think I saw that Charles had put out something about Andrew, and so did William and Catherine, didn't they? Like, did they say they're surprised about it? They would have said something like that. Camilla, I was getting, she's seen out and about. She might be doing charity work, or she's visiting somewhere. It's kind of like she's doing something good that's recognized. We've got the Ten of Swords in reverse. So she's not here. She's, let's continue and I'll tell you. The Queen of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords. There's the communication I said is positive. The Seven of Swords, I'm getting with that, it's stolen from her. Some spotlight is stolen from her to be focused on something else. The Devil comes in, and the Ten of Cups, and the Three of Swords. A bit of a manipulative energy here. So who is in the circle that tries to do this? But I do think she's communicating something that's taken very positively. Because I was getting that coming through. But here we've got a bit of warning going on for her as well. There is, with this Ten of Swords in reverse, there is an advantage for this week for her. And there is success and favour. But it could be that none of it is permanent. But she takes her power back and she does deliver very well. But there's someone in the background. And I think I wanted to say this coming week, there is a spy energy. So I think she's got to be very careful about that as well. There is a manipulative energy, and I think this is around either the royal family, her loved ones. I'm getting more her side as opposed to the royal family, and there could be a little bit of heartbreak, and I feel like this could relate to something of the past or something like that. Now let's go to, I do like just going back to some of February predictions. This week we are going to see some aircraft turmoil, aircraft staff maybe striking, airport terminal grounding. Was it that the airport shut? There was something they said about the US a few months ago, wasn't it? What was it? Did they shut the airports? It wasn't the airport shut, but something was, there was a shutdown of something. There could be a similar energy there. I am getting that there could be something comes up that mentions John F. Kennedy, the one that was on the plane. Now recently I saw that Pam Bondi, so let me just tell you before I get this wrong. Is it US Secretary of State? Attorney General. No, hang on a sec. Attorney General, yeah. So I think she was in a Congress or somewhere, and she was basically, a lot of people asked her about the Epsteinfiles, and I think they were asking her, why aren't you disclosing, or do you think it's okay, or some stuff like that. I didn't really watch it, because it was I don't know if it was a behavior analysis that was analyzing her, and that's how it came up about it. And I watched 5 minutes and I didn't continue. She was quite aggressive in that, but I wanted to ask, what came to my mind was, is she part of the DS? Is she part of the DS? Does she feel like she's special? Does she believe in what she's saying? Because I think people are annoyed that is she retracting some of the documents, or she's playing it down, or she's not releasing them. I'm not sure what she's doing. Well, let me ask the question now. So, is she part of the DS? So here I get in reversal, but I do get something about her is hidden, right? About her role. She really feels like she's having to fight alone right now in what she's saying, and in Congress, she felt like she was the one to go at it, and she was quite hasty, aggressive, wanted to just charge forward to put up this fight. But there is something about her that's hidden. I gotta know in terms of if she's part of the DS, all right? But it seems like she is part of something that's not being spoke about, a framework, or something that used to exist that no longer exists, and so she's finding her feet right now, in terms of that. So could this be, we're asking tarot, okay, could this be that she's similar, because Ghislaine assisted Ep, right? Could she be similar in terms of being at the forefront to speak instead of duck on this matter? So is she similar? And we're using tarot. I don't have a conspiracy deck with me. I do want to buy some of those true crime conspiracy decks. I think I've got a couple coming that I've used before, but in my boxes. So let's see. Is she like Ghislaine to Duck? Like organising stuff. I don't mean like pimping around, okay? Getting the girls. Let's have a look. In some way, yes, but she's a lot more restricted, okay? So she's there putting up that fight at the forefront. She is very much his alliance, an alliance with Duck, which we hope to see in that sort of situation. I get a yes, she is like Ghislaine, but she's more held back, so she doesn't do as much, but there is that energy there, right? What about, does she realise, does she think that she's really, really special and protected by Duck? Or does she see that she is doing the forefront for him and she's like every other staff member? I'm not saying in terms of crushes or stuff, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. So is she, does she think she's a bit more special than other staff? I don't mean crush or love or whatever. Does she think she's a bit more special than other staff towards Duck? Oh, yes. Yes, because she's on the defense. She's ready to put up that fight, okay? To have the distraction, the move away, focus, the burden to move away from him, because we're talking about Duck. So anything that, you know, where she needs to put up a fight, she needs to defend, she's willing to do it to make sure the burden moves away. And the Wheel of Fortune changes that dynamic for the new to come in and for the new communication to come in, and she's willing to work hard on that. She's got the patience, okay, and she's willing when needed to lie if need be. In some way, though, she's restricted on how much she does in her role. That was showing with the Hangman showing again, and the 8 of Swords, if you saw they were the next cards. Okay, so Bondi, pimping. No, just joking. Don't take this out of context, please. Okay. The other thing I wanted to add is I wonder if we're going to hear of a university or a university lecturer, something to do with that framework where they might be mentioned in the files, or a lecturer or something that maybe hosted Epstein, or Epstein attended a class, or something was there, because I feel like that kind of energy is coming up. Let's see, I feel like we're going to see a female again. Female dynamics are coming up. So I feel two things. A female is going to quit in her role or walks out of something, okay, in this coming short period of time. I also think we're getting a female spy coming to light. It could be foreign. It doesn't have to be from the US or the UK. But there's a spy, a female spy. Let's have a look. What cards have you got on this female spy, please, Spirit? Ace of Cups, a positive. So, yes, confirming that there's a female spy. I do want to say this week we are getting weather upheaval, okay? So make sure you just prepare. I do have a further reading where I'm going to tell you to prep on certain stuff as well. The energy guidance that I do. Here we've got the Ace of Cups. So definitely, yes, we've got a female spy. She is definitely looking into the elites. She's in with the money, okay? And she is delivering some information here. She's definitely delivering some information. The information looks small at the beginning, but it gets bigger. Knight of Wands, Page of Wands to the Knight of Wands, and it's delivered to higher Congress, higher elites, leaders. But I feel this is beyond just a leader, okay? I feel this is beyond presidential. This is like DS. This is like government. This is like intelligence. This is like agency. So I do see that, okay? I don't know why with this card I am getting Nancy Guthrie's energy. Okay, so was Nancy Aquarius, by the way? I don't know if that would be out there, but I'm getting that energy. I do also want to remind you, I do believe that there will be a protest and a strike coming up this week. Be careful of the weather. It's very important. Nancy Guthrie, you know, I don't think she was part of what's happening, but there is a bit of a game plan working at the moment. BBC, I feel like the BBC right now are doing something and they've gone too far. Can I have a confirmation? British Broadcasting Company. Yeah, something they've done, and I think it's to do with a female, and it could also to do with, you know, a well-known female's family, or it could even be royalty, and something they do just goes too far, and it could put them in a loss. Okay, it could put them in a loss. Do you know who else I was getting coming through, who's not passed, I don't think. I just want to confirm it's the same picture I was getting. Stephen, oh, Sir Stephen John Fry. He looks like this. Okay, he's a broadcaster, comedian, writer. He began his career as a sketch comedy series, Al Fresco, and then Blackadder. I think there's going to be some exposure on him, and I feel like a journalist is speaking about him. That's the energy I get around him, so that's what I get there. I do want to touch base on Lucy Letby, but I'd like for you to take part in the poll if possible. I am going to stop this here, but then I need to record what I had recorded, because it's guidance of this upcoming predictions as well. I do also want to remind you that I've seen like a ship sinking, some things in the sea happening. I said in February there is a massive grief and loss that's happening. There's a sacrificing. Further along, there's going to be an earthquake. I think they've had an earthquake in an area, I've said, but there's going to be an earthquake that is rooted from the Indian Ocean. So where it hits is rooted from the Indian Ocean. We're going to hear a bit more about a virus in certain parts of the world, but don't worry, it's not going to be global. Okay. At the moment, there might be a more feeling of restlessness, more anxious, or people will be feeling so, and we might feel it collectively. I will go into the guidance, but I do want to say we need to look after our nervous system at this moment in time. And there's going to be bizarre situations coming up, okay? We may have seen some of it, but some of it might be like, what the hell? And this could be bizarre financial movement or impact as well. I will go into, hopefully, the energy. I'll try and record it, unfortunately, because I lost this. And obviously, like I said, it'll be down for members, and then it'll be for subscribers. So do look out. Take care, stay blessed, and look out for the next video. Bye for now. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. God bless.